go through the day, the past day actually, and try to collect a few smaller and bigger, let's say, moments in the day for which you are actually grateful. It took me more than 30 years to really internalize the following 5 life lessons. And once I did, it changed my life completely. And today I want to share these 5 life lessons with you so that you can benefit from my experience and ideally don't have to wait 30 years plus to get the best out of your life. So let's get started. Welcome to today's video. My name is Steven and I help athletes and ambitious people to become high performers. Lesson number 1, find the right way to handle mistakes. And mistakes could be mistakes that you do yourself or mistakes that others do around you. For example, in sports. So when you're in a team and maybe you make some mistakes at some point or your teammates make some mistakes. The same could be in business, of course, or with your family, your spouse or your kids. So it's important to find the right way and have a positive attitude also when talking about mistakes. So when I was young, for example, and when I used to play tennis, competitive tennis also, my inner critique was huge, honestly, huge. So I criticized myself all the time and I had a very negative mindset also in some moments, in some matches. And what happened, of course, my performance went down, the opponent's performance went up, and very often I lost because my mindset was simply too negative and I didn't have the right way, I didn't find the right way to handle my mistakes that I make. Yeah, and that's normal, that's part of the game, that we make mistakes, but we have to stay positive. And at some point, it took me a long time actually until I realized that I shouldn't listen too much to my inner voice when criticizing me in a negative way and instead switch it in the positive. So I asked myself, okay, making mistakes is one thing, which is part of our life, but what is it actually that I can improve? So I shifted my mindset and I started to find some ways and what can I learn from my mistakes? So what is it that I could have done better maybe in the previous match, and what is it that I want to do differently in the future? And that had a huge impact in a positive way on my performance, on my development, on my mindset. And at some point I also told myself there's nothing else I can do than giving my best. So I told myself actually when going into a match, okay, today I'm going to give my best. I'm going to do my very best. That's all I can do. And it will never be perfect because that's an illusion, perfectionism. And the very best that I give or that I will do will never be the same. So every day is different. So will be my performance also. But when I can say to myself at the end of the day, I did my best, I tried everything that was possible, then I can't blame myself. There's no way that I blame myself. And that's really, really important because especially nowadays, so many people, they are struggling also that come to my practice with perfectionism. They put pressure on themselves. They blame themselves for making mistakes or for not being perfect. But then we work on that perfectionism, we work on the pressure and the negative mindset. And in case you also struggle from time to time with perfectionism, pressure, putting pressure on yourself and blaming yourself, feel free to get in touch with me via the TidyCal link and you can tell me a bit more about your situation and I can give you some ideas and show you some ways how you can overcome your perfectionism. And in case you struggle sometimes with people around you making mistakes and you tend to maybe blame them for making mistakes, always bear in mind they don't do it deliberately, as you don't do it deliberately on purpose. Instead, tell yourself actually what is it that you can do so that they do less mistakes. So support them in a positive way, cheer them up, because otherwise they will maybe do the same that you've been doing in the past. They're going to blame themselves, and this will have, as we know, most probably will have a negative impact on their performance. And that's something we want to avoid, obviously. And also tell yourself you don't have any actually impact on what's happening in the outside world. So if someone makes a mistake around you, it's over, it's happened already, and it wasn't you, so you can't actually influence this anymore. So always bear in mind you can influence yourself, you can work on yourself, you can work on your mistakes, improve, but you can't force anyone out there to do the same, to have the same attitude on making mistakes, but you can help them by supporting them, by cheering them up. The second point, the second life lesson that had a huge impact and made a huge difference in my life was when I realized that I shouldn't wait for miracles, but instead take action. I want to give you an example. Years and years ago, when I was still in the commercial world, and I applied for a job, and I had a very good job interview. It went really well, and the manager said, "Hey, Steven, you are the right person. I see you in this job. I want to give this job to you." And I was super happy and went home, and we arranged that we're gonna talk at some point again in the next few days to arrange everything, and I would get the contract. But in the end, nothing happened. No miracle happened, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and days went past and weeks went past and months went even past, and I was waiting and waiting for a phone call and trying to get some feedback from the manager, but it was in the middle of the financial crisis, so and they had some internal changes, and he couldn't give me a yes, and he couldn't give me a no. So it was somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and I waited, and I didn't take action, and so it said, okay, I accept the situation as it is, and I need to move on. I need to look for some other jobs, even though I would love to get this position. I need to look for some other jobs, and also get some more job interviews. So I waited and waited and waited, and this was a big life lesson, a tough one for me to understand at some point. Hey, listen, let go, accept the situation as it is. Don't wait for this miracle. You have to take action first, and then suddenly you see some new doors open. You get some new opportunities you haven't discovered before. You couldn't see them before because you were waiting. You were just sitting there, and you were like blocked. Instead, go out, take action, get in touch with people, and suddenly maybe you meet someone, and that's a person you've never seen before, maybe in a bar or at a business cocktail, and you tell him about your situation, and he says, "Hey, listen, I have an open job here for you. That might be the right thing for you. Why don't you come by and we have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee together, and then see where it goes. Maybe it's a fit for both sides." So first take action, then come the miracles, and not the other way around, or simply wait. Don't wait and wait for miracles. This will bring you nowhere. The third life lesson that is crucial from my point of view is shift the mindset from what can I do for myself to what can I do for others. And this could be some small things actually, also on a daily basis maybe. So what I started at some point is I asked myself in the morning, who is it I can maybe call today, and just ask, how are you? How is it going? How's the situation? How are you feeling? without expecting anything as a reward, let's say, or in return. Or you could ask yourself, who is it that I would like to make happy today? So maybe it could be a little gift, maybe a bunch of flowers, maybe it's a postcard you write to someone, or it could be, of course, the phone call, or maybe you visit someone. So who could you actually visit maybe today or tomorrow? And then surprise them by visiting them, coming along maybe with a bunch of flowers or a little gift. And make others happy, because this will also make you happy. And this is something we maybe lost a little bit in our society nowadays, because it's everything so much about what can I do about myself and individualism. But we need to return and go back to what can we also do for others, because this is something that gives our life a purpose, a good purpose, and it gives us a good feeling also. Yeah, we can feel the love, we can feel the gratitude, we can feel happiness, and this is what life is about actually. And it has also been, by the way, scientifically proven that there is some kind of it resonates actually when we do something. When we do something good for others, this will also come back to us in some way. But make sure that you do this without expecting anything in return. Just do it because you like doing it. You want to make others happy. You want to share your happiness, your gratitude, your loving life. Yeah. And then see what happens. Why don't you start a challenge, maybe a 7-day challenge or a 30-day challenge if you want, and why don't you create a list and write down some names of people that are important to you in your life, and just give them a call and say thank you for helping me last week, or thank you for being such a good friend, or thank you for being such a fantastic mom or dad. Go by and help people with something, maybe help them in the garden, or as I said, bring something along, a little gift, bunch of flowers, send them a postcard. Try it out, let me know in the comment section below how it went, and I think this would be super interesting also for the other viewers to get your feedback also, and what you experienced by doing that. Another crucial life lesson that took me far too long actually to realize, to be honest, is being goal-oriented versus process-oriented. And when I was a kid playing tennis, competitive tennis, and also as a youngster, I was far too much goal-oriented. So, for example, I wanted to be in the rankings by the end of the year, top 10 in my, let's say, in my region. And what happened then, actually, I forgot about what I need to do. So I forgot the process, and I couldn't enjoy the process because I was so focused on the outcome. The longer it went, or the closer I got to the goal, and I had the feeling I was maybe too far away from the goal, the more pressure I felt and I put on myself. And it was completely creating a completely negative mindset also. Instead, create goals, have a clear vision, that's fantastic. Create some, or define some milestones that bring you to your long-term goal, but then focus on the process. So what is it that you really can influence on a daily basis? Your training, your exercises, your repetitions, but also maybe it could be something like learning a language, or learning for university on a regular basis. And the same in business. So this could be in any area of our life. Focus on the process, enjoy the ride, enjoy the way to your long-term goal, but don't get stuck and don't be over-focused on your goal. Otherwise you might become tense. You won't enjoy the ride anymore. You'll be frustrated when you have the feeling you're too slow, you're not getting there. Instead, shift the mindset then to the process, the daily tasks you need to do. Be consistent, be diligent, and this will bring you automatically towards your vision, your long-term goal. And that's something you can 100%, you have 100% influence on that. You don't have the influence, nobody can tell you. You don't have the crystal ball that tells you you're gonna reach your goal for sure. Nobody can tell you, not even you. So, but what you can do is focus on the process, focus on your daily tasks, and then see what happens. And in the end, what is it that you can ask yourself? Did I give my best? Yes, I did all I could do. There's nothing else I can do. So, perfect. So make sure that you're not too much focused on the goal. Instead, focus on the process and enjoy the ride. That's all you can do. Give your best. That's it. And then the fifth and last life lesson I want to share with you today is don't take anything for granted. Especially in the Western world, maybe we might live in in wealthy circumstances, let's say, and we have so many possessions, we have everything that we need actually, and sometimes we might forget that everything that we have actually around us, maybe the people that we have a lovely family, we have some friends, we have enough to eat on every day, so we don't have to worry about anything more or less. But we need to bear in mind and also have this humbleness that things can change pretty quickly. I mean, look in Europe, for example, what's happening in Eastern Europe with the war between Ukraine and Russia. Nobody would have thought probably a few years ago that this was possible, but unfortunately it happened. And life for people in that area has changed completely, of course. And it could be some other circumstances in life. It could be maybe health issues. It could be an injury if you're an athlete. It could be that we lose our job. It could be maybe that our spouse leaves us and we didn't expect that. So there are so many things that can happen. So don't take things for granted. Instead, be humble and be grateful for everything that you have. And I would like to share with you a little exercise that you can do on a daily basis before going to sleep. Why don't you start with a little gratitude exercise and go through the day, the past day actually, and try to collect a few smaller and bigger, let's say, moments in the day for which you are actually grateful. So this could be maybe your lovely family around you, your kids that you're grateful for. This could be the job that you're doing that you love. This could be a gift that you got from someone. This could be a salary raise that you received today. This could be the fridge at home that it's full and you have enough to eat. Or this could be your lovely house or your flat that you live in and where you are safe. This could be the country you're living in and the people around you. So there's so many things that actually we can be grateful for every day. And when we start with an exercise like this, sometimes in the beginning it can be a little bit difficult, more or less, to find some good reasons that you're grateful for. But the longer you do this and the more regularly you do it, the more actually also the small moments in your daily life you will find that you can be grateful for. And in case you would like to get some more ideas how you can influence your life in a positive way, check out this video on top, how you can create more and consume less. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked the content. If you did so, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Take care and see you soon. Bye.